Fast X, man. What a
What a
film.
wild ride.
What a picture. I mean, it's basically everything. Not it's better than I expected, I guess. Return to the Fast and Furious franchise. You know, I've said Fast 9, maybe one of the worst I felt in recent memory. Again, my favorite being Fast 5. For me, that's top of the top for the franchise. But yeah, they really brought me back with this one. My biggest problem with Fast 9 was the fact that they knew they were crazy. They were too self-aware, where they would make jokes about how they're not dead. The joke was, oh, Tyrese, his character doesn't die, and all that stuff is gone from this one, which is fantastic. Don't even going to space in the last one, it would have been better if they just didn't make it evident that they knew how crazy it was that they were going to space.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And obviously, spoiler, they don't go to space in this one. But yeah, it was a really good time. Did it have its problems? Of course it did. For me, Brie Larson and I always forget
Alan Ritchson.
Alan Ritchson. They were fine. Their one scene together in the beginning I thought was pretty poor. In that kind of room that looked like when Mr. Incredible goes to look at all the heroes that died in the first Incredibles. That's what it looked like.
I was saying Cerebro. That's way better.
The Incredibles looked way better.
Yeah.
The whole kind of gang of Ludacris, Tyrese, and Han, and everybody else. That whole kind of thing felt like they were just there. They didn't really need to be in the movie. And everything that they were given was pretty bad. They just didn't have much to do, unfortunately. But where this movie really shines is Jason Momoa, hands down. Jason Momoa brings just a lot of fun to his character, the villain that he's playing. I've seen everybody saying he's doing, his best Heath Ledger Joker impression, which I would agree with. He's just off the wall, funny at the very correct times, menacing at the correct times,
charismatic.
Everything works where it's kind of like, I kind of start to like this guy a little bit, and he's definitely the villain that I think this franchise needs. And I personally, when I was walking out, I was like, I could have watched probably another half an hour. The way the movie was going, is it crazy? Is it unbelievable times? Yes, but that's what this franchise is at this point. But again, they're unbelievable without telling you that they're unbelievable, that they know they are unbelievable. But yeah, I really enjoyed myself. Again, has its problems, but for what it is as a Fast and Furious movie, some good surprises and a lot of fun. And a great post-credit scene.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I think the movie, I turned over to you about like 25 minutes in, towards like the end of the Rome sequence, and I was just like, this isn't bad so far. Like I was just like obviously I'm saying for a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
But that being said, for a Fast and Furious movie, I was like, this is actually like pretty decent so far. I think as you were talking, I think if you took out the Roman, I really do think that the best storyline in this whole movie is Dom's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that his is the best storyline. I do say, I also said this to you while watching it. It was a little weird that like he was just kind of alone the whole movie. Yeah. Like he would like link up with like a side character and a new side character at that, like somebody that we haven't really known before, be with them for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then they would either get taken off the board or they would be like, all right, Dom, you got to take it on your own from here. Like, and that happened like 3 different times. Whether it's, not really big spoilers because they're together in the trailer, but whether it's his scenes with Brie Larson, his scenes with Danielle Melchior, who I thought was really, really good in this, for her small scene that she's in. I really hope that she gets either bigger roles or like more meaty roles in the future, just because like her role as Ratcatcher 2, obviously in the Suicide Squad, was fantastic. but it was a smaller role. Guardians, obviously a much smaller role, but still really good for what she was in that movie. And then in this one, also pretty small role. So, but that being said, I think she did a lot of good stuff with her screen time. I think really the writing did not really help Alan Ritchson or Brie Larson.
No.
I would say specifically Brie Larson
Yeah.
because obviously Brie Larson can be super charismatic and awesome in a lot of different movies. And while I thought that she was charismatic in this movie, her character just came off a little bit like not dumb, but just like dull. Like it was just like, okay, she's just kind of here because Kurt Russell, they're either saving him for something or he didn't want to come back or something like that. And I don't mean like, oh, Kurt Russell didn't want to, so they got her instead. It's just like she's just kind of filling that role in the narrative of like, good guy agent. But something I want to talk about too. What the hell happened with Scott Eastwood? Because he dives out from an exploding car, lands perfectly fine, and then the whole rest of the movie is like, oh, there's no one left that can explain what was happening in Rome. And it's like, well, Scott Eastwood can. He was there with them, and then he just disappears.
What
from
did
the
I
whole
say?
Movie.
I said the movie's a little bit unbelievable at some points.
Yeah, it really is, and I think, like I was saying, with Dom's kind of being the best, I think if you just, I think if your goal is to make a really good movie, I think if you just shave off like a ton, just a ton of this movie, like a third of this movie, I think there's a really good like hour and 45-minute Dom Toretto movie in here. But obviously this franchise has grown beyond that, and we got to have a 15-minute, Jason Statham, kind of intersplice. We got to have a 15-minute,
Pete Davidson,
kind of. Yeah, Pete Davidson, and then also we got to have a 20-minute Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize Theron bit that for them, basically, like, we kept cutting back to them throughout the entire movie, but like everyone else, it was like days were happening, but for those two, it was like you said at one point. They say at one point. Is like we have 4 minutes before the alarm goes off, and then the entire rest of the movie they're just in the same space, and it's like nobody has addressed the 4-minute thing, and the guards never show up. Like,
then I said that was a long 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And then they kind of circle all the way back around to they're still doing their one thing. Literally at the very end of the movie, they're still on that same part. But just kind of pushing over for a second because this movie has been self-described by Vin Diesel as their, Avengers Endgame of this franchise.
Definitely Infinity
War. Or yeah, that's what I meant to say. Not to say spoilers or anything, but a certain number of people are either somewhat or pretty concretely taken off the board at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you think we're going with 11? Do you think we're going, are we going to get a resurrection from another person we didn't talk about yet, John Cena.
John Cena, yeah,
and
we didn't talk about
Little
him.
Brian.
Another highlight
really
of the
great.
movie. John Cena in this movie. Again, Fast 9, sorry. Very serious. And John Cena's not again, I don't want to make it sound like he's not a serious actor, but he does better when he's in comedic roles. And
I would actually say I don't think it's about comedy or seriousness. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
But when you just go, you're going to be a stern guy.
Yeah.
And you're just the whole F9, he's just it's like you're just kind of wasting his talent. You know what I mean? Because his talent is like a bumblebee where he's threatening, not the bee, like the movie Bumblebee, where like he is threatening, but then he has like great one-liners. Like he's a perfect guy like that, and this movie nails that for him. But yeah,
agreed. Man, there's a lot in this movie. Let's just let's get into spoilers, I guess. Basically, real quick off the top.
Full spoilers for Fast 10.
Gal Gadot's back at the very end. She pops out of the submarine, which is it the submarine from Fast 7? Right? Would that be 7?
Fast 8 is the one that has the submarine, but I haven't seen that.
Fast 8. Oh, then Fast 8.
All I remember is in the trailer, doesn't The Rock like
He
hand
moves the
nudge a
torpedo. Oh
torpedo.
yeah, he
But
does.
doesn't that torpedo blow up the submarine? So wouldn't it not be
They're in
that
the.
one?
Oh, I thought they were in the submarine. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
I I really couldn't tell you. I
But
don't know.
I don't
But
know. Maybe it's a different one. I,
yeah.
I'd have to rewatch. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, so Gal Gadot's back. Don't know how. Remember everybody. Remember at the end of Fast 6, I believe it was, when she was thrown off the plane on the tarmac, and obviously
Hmm.
Han devastated. But he will be very happy to know she is alive.
He can get rid of Tinder.
Yes, he can get rid of his Tinder.
Yeah.
And of course, the big return that was spoiled by a reporter claiming it as a scoop when it's not a scoop, when the movie's not out. It's just you're spoiling the movie. Was The Rock has returned to the Fast franchise. Big moment
That's right.
because I've said, Fast Five I think is the best Fast and Furious movie, and The Rock brought some kind of, I don't know, he brought some juice, I felt like, to the franchise
Mm.
when he came in that fifth movie. And it's been sad that he's gone. Obviously, him and Vin Diesel have had their differences. Pretty public spats too, I believe. Just going back and forth
Yeah.
with each other. So I don't know how it happened. Again, was it because of Black Adam? Possibly. That is, maybe that's a factor. But he is back, and me and you were theorizing like, oh, what's gonna happen? Is the post credit a lead up to Hobbs and Shaw 2, or is it a lead up to the next Fast and Furious movie? So
Well, either way,
what do you
he's
think?
not hard to find. You some bitch.
You some bitch, yeah.
There you go. Gray beard. Nice gray
beard.
signature Luke Hobbs goatee.
Yeah, you gotta bring the goatee. You can't just come in cliche. You gotta bring the goatee back, of course.
Well, he didn't have it. Yeah, like you said, back because he didn't
Yeah.
have it in Hobbs and Shaw, and that's one of the only Fast and Furious movies I've seen, and that's
Right.
the only one that I've seen with The Rock in it. And I was like, "Where's the goatee? This guy looks like Black Adam in this movie. Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
But you make a good point. But speaking of Hobbs and Shaw, I would not mind Hobbs and Shaw and Toretto, and somehow if you can get Cena in there, yeah, because right, he's the, or even maybe signature fan favorite character Mia Toretto.
Mia, yeah, give her something to do in this movie. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what
it's
is
a couple guys in armored plating with bowls of fruit in this movie,
right.
So that's
like I don't understand. I feel like every time she's in any of the movies since Paul Walker passed away, their excuse is like, "Oh, well, I gotta go catch up with my husband and the kid."
Yeah.
It's like what about everything else? She had like a little, that fight scene that she had with John Cena and everything. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
but that was like 5 minutes. It's like, give her. Honestly, you throw it with Dom, that'd be cool. Why? I don't.
Yeah,
don't
that's
throw
what I
her
don't
with,
understand.
Don't throw her with like Tyrese and Ludacris.
Luda,
and gang.
yeah.
They're doing their own thing. Throw her with Dom or something. I don't know.
Like I said, with like Dom being alone,
or even John Cena. There's
yeah.
sure
like, why did she not go with them? Like her signature line is, well, I'm just glad that Brian's back home taking care of the kids.
Right.
So where are you? Why aren't you going on the adventure? Why are you just like? Why is Jacob, John Cena's character? Why is he just like, Dom told me to come get him? I'll take him from here. She was just attacked. Bring your sister with you. Protect her. Like, why are you not bringing her as well? And then I don't know. For me,
don't you? Real quick. Don't you just love that? Like all the names are like Roman, Tej, Dom, Letty, Jacob.
Yeah, but it's Jacob with a K.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's Jacob with a K. Yeah. So come on now. Don't forget about fan favorite character Mia, Mia Toretto. Really, yeah, big one. I love when I go to people. Who's your favorite Fast and Furious character? And they say Mia. And I go, oh, good for you. God bless you. But no, but really, give that actress some stuff to do because she's really good in these movies. But they literally give her nothing. But yeah, I guess last kind of spoiler here, which you kind of alluded to already, is John Cena does
Bad.
a double bird flying eagle explosion onto a couple of henchmen. Never to be seen from again? Question mark.
In his
Or
replica Batmobile from the Batman.
yeah, literally. Or speaking of the car from the Batman, I mean the guy had a like jet propelled glider in a
Oh,
canoe
yeah.
case. Like, what do we think the chances are that
Yeah.
we're gonna get Fast 10 and the post credits or the past? Oh my god, the post credit for Fast 11. Do we think we're gonna see? Oh, but he had one of those little Nick Fury laser things where he just cut a hole real
Right.
quick and he jumped down through the road and he
Yeah,
was
I would.
like, I was fine the whole
I,
time.
I would not be surprised if he survived. We didn't see a body, so not that we really had a chance. Two things
Yeah.
I'll really quickly bring up before we, kind of move on. One, the flight attendant. I don't know if you knew this, on the airplane that gives Jacob the alcohol. Paul Walker's daughter.
There you go. Very cool.
Apparently,
Very cool.
Danielle told me this. Apparently, like in an article or interview, she said, she like does something or says something that was kind of like a nod
Little
to
nod.
something. But I like rewatched the clip. I wasn't in on it, but I don't know if somebody knows out there what the inside thing was.
A
Please
message.
let me know. And then what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, I think the more I think about it, I don't know if I needed. I don't know if I needed the Alan Richson kind of turn. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe we were better off with just Jason Momoa being the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll see in the next movie how that kind of goes. But
Shakes out. Yeah.
Jason Momoa, I don't need anybody to kind of counter his craziness. Just because
Yeah.
he's so off the hook in this movie
Mhm.
that, or off the whatever you want to call it, that I just want to see it continue. I don't need somebody dragging him down.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I feel like he's such like a one man wrecking crew in this, and there's kind of a fun thing where all the henchmen that he does have are working for him for a very specific reason.
Right.
And I like that without that reason, he is just alone.
Right.
I liked that bit. But again, another kind of logical thing, like, well, he apparently has nobody at his disposal, and has to kidnap all of these henchmen. But then it just turns out he actually is either has unlimited access to the agency, or because Alan Ritchson is now running the agency, he's kind of pseudo running the agency as well. So it's kind of weird on that front of like what actually the like power dynamic is. Like
Who
you
were
said,
those?
probably is going to be explained.
Who were
But
those people? Like, remember in the beginning when they were, him and Brie Larson are in that room,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, I just upped the bid to get Dom Toretto," and it's like all those like grayed out faces of people like, "Oh, like taking
Yeah,
that."
it
Who
reminded
were
me
all
of
those
like the
people?
World Security Council in Avengers.
Yeah, I was
Like,
like, "Who are all these people?"
yeah, they were gonna nuke New York.
I thought they were
I,
like he was like giving out like a bounty or something, like in like something from
Mhm.
Boba Fett, like straight out of Boba Fett, where it's like, go get this guy. That's what I thought it was at first, but obviously that didn't happen at all because nothing
I
like
am
comes
Boba
of
Fett.
any of that. But yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
definitely a movie. A good
Uh,
movie? No. Is it a good Fast and Furious
an
movie?
enjoyable movie,
Yes.
absolutely. And I
Yes.
will say too, I think our experience, our theatrical experience with the crowd we were with,
I think the
there
crowd
was
made
a
it 10 times
certain
better.
moment.
Yeah.
There was a certain moment, like an hour and a half in,
Right.
that everyone in our theater just started reacting,
Yeah.
clapping when things were going crazy, like cheering, just like in the crowd. And it really was like this slow build,
Decent
and
pop
then
for The Rock
basically,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, absolutely. And for Gal
Even
Gadot
Gal
too.
Gadot, yeah.
People were clapping for her. I think people even clapped for Statham, like when he showed up. Like it was just one of those. The crowd just really got into it towards the end, and it was kind of infectious. So that was I will say that really added to the experience because it was just a decently packed theater, to be honest. And I think that really just changes your experience a lot of the time. But guys, let us know, what did you think of Fast X? Did you enjoy it? Are you excited for Fast 11? Could you not give two shits about the Fast and Furious movies? Let us know that and more down below. Yeah, thank you for joining us for this review.